Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Dangerous Duke,
And your boy Stevie Jobber.
and welcome to the Dangerous Jobbers podcast. And for the next 15 minutes, we're running a segment called The Dark Match.
It's your boy Stevie Jobber. It's your boy Dangerous Duke. The Dangerous Jobbers podcast. Play the one. The boy Stevie Jobber. Dangerous Duke. Stay dangerous.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I'm your boy Stevie Jobber.
I'm your boy Dangerous Duke.
And this is the dark match where we are actually going to take 15 minutes and get back to the origin of what this thing was supposed to be, which is 15 minutes on one topic. And that one topic only today is stand and deliver.
Not gonna stand.
Okay. So I want to hit the big things off the top because we only got a little bit of time, limited amount of time. I'm going to give my spiel, my big thing, because my favorite moment and one of the big things to talk about of the night is the men's world championship match. Obafemi, Trick Williams, Javon Evans, three amazing athletic talents, two former world champions, but just three amazing athletes. Great build going into this. Javon Evans, the EO Sky of the match, the guy everyone was counting out. Trick Williams, the guy trying to return to greatness. Obafemi, the guy currently at the helm, currently undefeated, currently unstoppable. Okay, Trick Williams becoming sort of a Carmelo Hayes. He's a little bit in a villain arc, but not quite. Javon Evans just trying to prove himself, just trying to prove that it doesn't matter what size you are, it doesn't matter how young you are, you can mix it up with the best of them. You know, he's the Jeff Hardy at his purest. And these three guys went out there and just had a banger. And, you know, surprisingly, they gave Javon Evans a lot of the match. And not just against Trick, but against Oba. A lot of cutters, a lot of highs, a lot of springboard, a lot of high flying maneuvers from Javon Evans. Double cutters. I think he did an OG cutter at every level of the ring. From the base to the bottom to the middle to the top rope. I think they just had an amazing performance. In the end, Obafemi ends up walking away with it, which I believe was probably supposed to happen. Like, I couldn't see it any other way, really. But I thought they went out there and they set an amazing precedent on what they could do with the main event at NXT. It did feel like a really good. It gave takeover vibes this year, and I think a lot of that is on the shoulders of the build of the three of them. Not even necessarily the story, but just the three of them as characters developing to this point, and them giving Javon Evans a lot of the match. Really, I think it's going to help him catapult to that next level, even though he lost. But what do you think is next? What do you think of them going with Obafemi?
I think it's the right call, and everything you said, I agree with. The match itself, it did give me a little bit of takeover vibes. It gave me the idea that NXT, not to say that it wouldn't have been, but it gives me the vibe that NXT will be okay in the future, especially with what they did with Javon Evans in the match, making him a focal point. Like you said, the cutter at all levels, the stuff he was doing, and then Trick still, like you said, in that Carmelo Hayes-ish era. Am I the good guy? Am I the bad guy? That kind of thing. And then Obafemi just putting in work like he's been doing, showing that he can be a top guy for a brand if pushed the right way and given the right opportunity. I think they did very well with this. The right man won. I think Javon Evans has a little bit more time before they invest in him in that way they've done with Trick and Obafemi. But
Mm.
he's got a bright future. That man, he did great on NXT's biggest stage, and I think the sky for him is potentially unlimited.
Um, Going ahead of that, do you think Trick is going to get called up before I leave it?
Yeah, I would say Trick has done all he can do in NXT. I feel like there's a few people that you could use to be called up, but the name at the top of that list, I would have to say would be Trick, and I would have to say take Trick and put Trick on Monday Night Raw.
Mm.
Don't
Yeah,
even pair him with, don't even put him with
Mello.
Mello because Mello's SmackDown, right?
Yeah, he's with the
Yeah,
Miz
so
right now.
I would leave that where it is and let him stay on Raw and do his own thing.
Um, what did you think of the women's fatal four way? Jada Parker, Jordan Grace, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. How'd they do?
Arguably the worst. Now let me stop. Arguably match of the night
Mm.
could quite possibly have been match of the night. That match was the epitome of the future of NXT and how great their women's division is. Not even can be how great their women's division is because I will say right this moment on record, NXT has the best women's roster out of anybody. Better than Raw, better than SmackDown, better than TNA, better than AEW, better than anywhere. NXT has the best women's roster all around. Not even just because of these four women in the match, but because of the other matches that they had, either pre-show or main show. Like Kevin Nash once said a while back, this is where the big boys come to play. Well, NXT is where the women come to do their thing.
Mm.
This is where they show up, show out, and can put on the best match of the night because some people probably would say that was the best match of the night. The sequences, the way they matched up with each other stylistically. You had your powerhouse, you had your high, you had your technicians. There was not there was not an there was not a bad spot anywhere in this match for me. Everything made sense. Everything was where it needed to be. The right woman won, even though the biased person in me says the right person didn't win. But
Mm.
honestly, on paper, the right person won. So I thought the matchup was great. Those four women are going to be a big part of NXT going forward. And it has me really excited for the future because of the potential matchups and potential matches and stories that could happen. And my hat's off to all four of those women because they killed it and they did great. So big ups to the NXT women in that fatal four way.
Um, I don't know if I have any more to say. I think the women all weekend did really well. Did really well. I don't think looking back at it, regardless of the decisions made, I don't think any women's match disappointed me all weekend.
No.
So I will say that. Very, very impressive stuff. I look forward to seeing what everyone is doing. I wanted to pick out a favorite moment while it's still fresh in our heads. I think I was tied between Javon, but I do enjoy Sol Ruka becoming North American Women's Champion in the annual North American ladder match because it's annual. They always find a way back to it at this point. I love that. But Sol
Mm-hmm.
Ruka wins. Sol Ruka becomes a dual champion actually because she just won the Speed Championship. So now
Yeah.
she's North American and Speed Champion. So That rocks. I don't know what happens between her and Zarya now. I think it works because I think they want Zarya in the main event picture, so it doesn't mess up their dynamic. Um, but just props to Soul because I like Soul. The first moment I saw her coming back from injury,
Hmm.
and I always felt like she was really impressive. She just didn't have a very good platform. Like Jada and Lola Vice had a thing already. Roxanne was pretty planted. Um, Thea Hell had a legit story. Toxic Attraction, like there was just a lot of people already set into place. So to find something for her got difficult, but I look
Worked
forward to
out.
seeing where they take it now. Yeah.
I was gonna say my spot that I'm gonna shout out, as much as I loved everything that the women did on
Mhm.
on all levels, I'm gonna shout out the tag teams, man. I'm gonna shout out Hank and Tank, and I'm gonna shout out Faxium because their match itself was unbelievable. They did great too. The spots that they had, everything else, and then Fraxium doing what they've done with those tag team titles, making them arguably some of the best matches on any show on any given week. And the match they had with Hank and Tank, I think they did a phenomenal job as the champions. They had a phenomenal match. Now, what this means for their future, whether it's them being called up, hopefully so. If not, then we'll see. But I'm excited to see what Hank and Tank can do with those titles now because Fraxium did very, very well. It's going to
Mhm.
be hard to live up to that, and I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, I always liked Hank and Tank, and I always liked Faction. They didn't always make sense to me at first, but once I understood that them not making sense is what made them made sense. Um, and that work in the ring, they just how can they not take it by storm? And I think
Very,
there's really nowhere to go but up. So I agree with
they are very William Regal and Tajiri esque
you.
in a sense.
Yeah, and very much in a sense. Um, I wonder if they'll keep that energy on main roster. Hopefully, Triple H doesn't change anything. Don't vince it up. If you call people up this year, don't vince it up. But that's for another day. Um, is there anything else you want to edge in here?
Congratulations to NXT. Y'all did great. Y'all definitely did compete with main roster this year in terms of quality of match and quality of show.
Mhm.
And I look forward to see what y'all do when Worlds Collide comes around.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm very interested in all of the changes coming. But yeah, that's for another pod. That's for another pod.
Hmm.
But congratulations to everything NXT has done all the way up to this build to stand and deliver this year. Very impressive. Sean is doing amazing work down there.
Good job, Sean.
Um, good job, Sean. Um, so that just about does it for the dark match. I'm proud of us for keeping to time. I think we did a very good job keeping within our limits, and hopefully we can maintain this 15-minute type structure going forward because I think we got off the rails a bit. And I want to get back to the essence of what the dark match is supposed to be: quick and boom, 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 and we out of here. And with that being said, hit the links at the bottom if you see them at the bottom, somewhere in the bottom where you're listening. Like, subscribe, wherever you catch us. I am Stevie Jobber.
I am Dangerous Deep.
And this has been our review of Stand and Deliver. This has been the Dark Match. Stay up, stay blessed, Duke, as always.
Stay dangerous.
Boom.
People have been asking me to be the best in the world. Why, Eddie, why?